This is Master Within, and you're watching the Master Within online show. Please wait while we begin the session in a few more minutes. Till then, sit back and relax. Thank you.
Salutation to my supreme beloved. Hi, my name is Bibaswan and I welcome you to the Master Within online show where we conduct live sessions every Sunday. So, and today's topic of discussion is depression and epidemic. So I hope everyone is doing good and you are at the best of your health and times. And before we start the discussion, I urge everyone to like this video, like this session, share among your loved ones, your friends. And without making any further delays, I would like to introduce other members of today's session. So the first member, Shovik Ghosh and Orko Prabhu Chatterjee. Orkoda. Orkoda, I think you can adjust the camera a bit. Yeah, great. So just like every other day and every other session, we would like to make an interactive discussion so that we can learn a lot as well as we can also discuss about this topic. So this is an extremely sensitive topic and yet a very important thing to discuss as this happens to be the need of an hour. Depression. Is this an epidemic? So before we talk about this depression, let's talk about what an epidemic is. Okay, like what is an epidemic, or why does it happen, or what happens when there is an epidemic? So the standard definition says that it is an affecting or tending to affect something which affects a disproportionately large number of individuals within a population, community, or region at the same time. Okay, so we have this coronavirus pandemic already going on. So that's a pandemic. And now let's talk about this depression. So, is depression an epidemic? And why is it really important to discuss about? And what makes this a very important thing to discuss? So, since we all know that depression is something that is related to mental health, okay, and that's the reason people don't want to discuss about it, or people refrain to talk about that. Now, how important is talking about that, or why is it even necessary? Since it is like, it's affecting the mind, okay, and we all know that the mind controls our body. And when there are bodies combined, like human beings combined, it forms a society. That society, when combined, forms a community, and then we all know as the chain goes ahead, it's a nation overall. So we can say that if the mental health is not proper, or if a person is suffering from depression, or since it's an epidemic, a large number of people are already suffering from it, the country gets affected in the long run, or not in the long run, the country gets affected, the nation gets affected. Recent news and facts say that the happiness index of our nation, India, is not something that we should be proud about. If I am not wrong, the figure is something around 139 or something. It's the rank. So now let's start our discussion on this. Why this thing is happening? Uh, why even like the people are not happy in India? Or why is this happening? So the first thing, let's be very clear that depression is not something which happens due to a single reason or a single thing. There are there's not only one underlying reason for depression, there are many reasons. It can be anything, and it will not be correct to say that it is just happening because of overthinking, or it is just happening because of any single thing. It can be anything. Maybe a person is not uh, satisfied in a situation he or she is. Maybe that person has lost someone in their lives. Maybe a person has lost his job. Maybe a person is thinking too much, which is bothering him or her. Maybe some incidents which the person is not able to share with anyone, or they don't feel like. And then what happens? Darkness pops in from everywhere. Okay. It doesn't matter whether that person is stable in life or that person is not stable in life. Darkness of this depression pops in from everywhere, and then the direction is not visible. They don't know what to do, they don't know what to talk to, they don't know whom to talk to. They're confused, but they don't want to even. So it's a fight within that person, dark self, or whatever you call it. So it's a very critical situation, and as we said, it can be due to any reason. So I would urge my other members to come in and add their views so that we can make an interactive session, and let's see if we can really find out what's yeah. Shovik.
Yes, thank you, Rohanda. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, very clear.
I, I pay my respect and pranam to the lotus feet of my master and all other viewers who are present today, and my respected dadas who are kind enough to share the stage with me. So, depression and epidemic. We hardly see these two together because, as Dada explained, that depression is something we often feel is too common for us. In the very colloquial sense, the depression in its own way is the sadness that is sustained for a long time. The sadness that is sustained for a longer time has harder results and some issues that it pervades in the society. On the other hand, the epidemic that we say is a kind of a disease that spreads over long distances in a very short amount of time. So, if we look at these two figures together, depression that spreads faster for all the people in a very short amount of time, then we can call it an epidemic. And that is the thing that's happening now. There is a famous saying of the master. He says, never serve people without serving their minds, or your service will go to dogs. That means so much of service is going on, so much of social activity is going on. But if we take a look at them, then that service is mostly focused on the monetary side. It's mostly focused on the physical aspects of the life, to feed people. That is essential indeed. But without serving the mind, that service is almost futile, because it is the mind that wants, not the body. The body urges the mind, but the body does so. The body follows the mind. So it is the mind that we have been ignoring for a long amount of time. And it is the time for the human beings to raise and question this, because if we take a comparison between all other animals and we as human beings, the difference lies not in physiology, but the difference lies in our psyche or our mind, mental capabilities. So, as human beings, it is the mental faculties of our existence that we have to take a deeper look upon, and it is in those aspects that we have to focus and serve other people. As the event of today will unfold by the presence of our respected speakers as well as myself, we would explore other more deeper res- aspects of this. And I am sure that these kind of events and these kind of subjects will be very much essential and life-giving to many other people as well as ourselves. I would like to ask our next speaker, Orko Prabodar, to speak something about this topic and give an introductory knowledge to us. Thank you.
Uh, Today I am here to learn a lot of things rather than delivering any speech. Um, See, this is a today we are going to have a very serious discussion, but I have to share this. See, I have a lot of friends who are very well educated. Some of them are engineers, some of them are working in banks and in various sectors. They all are busy professionals, but they all have something in common. They all have a common problem in their bodies. They all have pain in their waist, pain in their knees, something like that. They all are busy professionals, and I do respect them. But for making fun of them, I said that these are the diseases of a well educated person. So uh, so according to this stereotype mentality, when I first came to know about the word depression, I thought that uh, this is a luxurious disease which can only afforded by the financially higher class, who belong to a financially higher class. And and if the person is not belonging to a higher financial class, then he must be a teenager who is lost, and eventually he will if eventually he will get a. Yes, Ronda, are you saying something?
No, 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 no. It's very
and,
interesting.
and eventually he will get a, get the proper career advice from his guardian, and he will get back in track, and the depression will be gone. But as time goes, my empathy also grows, and my character evolved. I started to understand that this depression has a very little connection with money and with age, as well as with age. uh, so I think, yes, what Rohanda said is very correct, that depression is like darkness. So we must find a way to the light from this darkness. And to do this, we need someone who can lead us from darkness to light. And I think in today's session we will come to know about this such kind of person who can lead us from darkness to light, and also how to be attached to him or to the person.
Yes, yes, yes. So will.
Yeah,
I would like to counter in this part that the moment you said that we need to be attached to someone to stay happy, this is the part. This is the part where people will not agree with us. I think many of the people, isn't it, Rohanda?
Indeed.
I think this is the part where we have the most allergy to.
Yes, we
And
have. Definitely.
another thing, if the depression, if the origin of depression is due to the attachment to a person, then how will we give them that understanding?
Yes.
Isn't it? Like it is of depression nowadays for youth is often related to breakups, losing people. They're also origins of depression, and that
Yes.
is due to attachment, I would say.
Yes.
More than attachment, I think that would be like a opium. It is like a lack of opium. So that is again, as attachment is the cause towards the solution as you are giving us, similarly the attachment is also the cause of the depression sometimes. Wouldn't you agree, Orkuta?
Yes, that is
150%.
that is very true. But uh, what I'm going to say here is that when I was in school, I was when I was a child, I was in school. I used to fear a subject, and I used to fear the teacher who used to taught us the subject. Then suddenly, after some time, the teacher got changed. Someone else came in his place, and I started to love the subject. And the teacher also saw the progression, and he told my mother that I also couldn't expect the I also couldn't expect this kind of higher score from him. So that is why I'm saying that the teacher got changed, and I got to learn from the teacher, and I made progress. So that is all I wanted to say.
Indeed, indeed.
Indeed, that is very correct. Okay. So, as you have already said, okay, that if we are already attached to a person and we are then trying to say that a solution can be, uh, again, uh, from a personality. Okay. So, here we need to talk about a lot of things. So let's just generalize this thing for some time and then discuss. Okay. I, in my institution, I am learning masters in design, in user experience design. Okay. So one of my respected faculties once taught me that what is happening these days is previously things were want. There were things that we wanted. Sorry, there were things that we needed. Okay. Now, what's happening with the change in time and technology? We are converting, the wants are more than the needs. है ना? So we now want things more than we need things. And tech giants and, like big companies or whatever, everything, the rise in the digital media and everything are converting our wants into needs. So why did I say this? This statement might seem a bit irrelevant on what we are discussing. So what we actually want is not really what we need. So when this increases, when our wants increase, keep on increasing with time, we still want. Because I read somewhere and I think it's very normal that इच्छाओं का कोई अंत नहीं है. इच्छा का कोई अंत नहीं होता है. Now वो इच्छा क्या है? Now what is that want? That can be anything. We, when are in a surroundings, that is an extremely important thing for us. Wherever we are, how we are interacting, what kind of people we're interacting with, what kind of learnings we are taking from that. Okay, I have seen a lot of scenarios, especially in the youth, when they say that my friend has a phone, even I want a phone, I need a phone. That becomes I need a phone. Okay, I need an iPad, but now what happens? I need this, I need that. That was not a need. That is a want. That is getting converted into a need because a lack of understanding is there. Lack of understanding of things is there. Lack of clarity is there. Definitely. This is a very, very short example. It's like this small example might unlock a lot of things. So let's try to think about this in a critical way. So when they say that I want this, and when they don't get what they want, they become sad. This is a very, very, very common thing. Okay. So now how is the surrounding affecting that particular individual? That individual is getting influenced by the things happening to the surroundings, in the surroundings. And when that particular individual is not having a clarity about life, or is not having a clarity about a lot of things that is good for that particular individual, that particular individual gets affected very badly. My respected father today told me an extremely interesting story, which I am sure many of us would know. The story was of Albert Einstein and his driver. So, Albert Einstein once was invited to a conference. He was going there for a speech on some topics related to physics, of course. So, on the way, the driver told him that, sir, I am with you since lot of years. Since long I have been with you, and I have already learned a lot of things. Okay, so today I would like to deliver a speech. Am I audible? Am I there? I think you okay, yeah. So I would like to deliver a speech today in your conference. So Einstein said, okay, is it that? Okay, fine, you can deliver. So that the driver goes there, and the thing was, nobody knew who is Einstein. At that time, there was no digital media or that thing. So people didn't know Einstein's face. So he went there, and the driver delivered his the speech or his lectures on physics and all. And the people were really excited, and they thought, yes, really, Einstein is great. So on the way back, when he was about to sit in the car, one man came and said, "Sir, your speech and your lecture was excellent. I still have a small doubt. Can you please clear?" He asked the doubt. And that man, for a while, thought, okay, now how would I clear that? I have just heard things from Einstein and I know it. So he said that, why didn't you ask my driver? This is such a small thing. Even my driver could answer. So the driver was Albert Einstein at that time, who was being his driver, and he answered. So what do we learn from this? The surroundings that we are in, the surroundings we choose, are extremely important, and that plays a major role in our state of mind. The surroundings, or the people we get attached to, or the surroundings we involve ourselves with. So that small thing was an extremely good example of intellect that the driver had developed due to the relationship with Einstein he had, due to being with him since long. So this might be irrelevant, but I will definitely say that this is something which is very good to understand. Now, how important is the surrounding? And then again, as Orkoda said, to answer your question, I may not be correct, but still, uh, from my understanding, I would say that yes, we do definitely get sad from a person that scenarios happen. Then we again see that if Shovik said that we need to attach ourselves from a personality, that personality should be of someone with an extremely high order of intellect, or who has an extremely better understanding of life, and more specifically, that personality should be a conscious person who is a conscious ideal whom we follow in life and we get answers about. Yes. So I would request other you all to again add some points. Yeah.
Yes, the thing that you said is very important, and I would also like to tell that as our environment can put impulses within us, we also can set some examples or set some impulses in our environment as well. And the more existential, or the more good things that are necessary for our existence, the more those kind of impulses we give to our society, the more or the bigger amount of fulfiller we are, according to the definition. So the conscious ideal that you were speaking of, we can see so many teachers and so many leaders around the world that who are coming up, and I can guarantee, and even a study says that almost 80 to 85% of even the world leaders are facing with this depression. So I would like to ask you, Dadas, again, that if the world leaders who are leading all the generation ahead, if even they are in medications and medicinal antidepressants and such things, then what is the future? Even they are reliant on doctors. They are having medications for depression. Nobody admits
Yes.
that publicly, but it is in the report. Anyone can Google it out. What would
Yes.
you like to say regarding that?
We have. What are your views, Orkoda? I think you can add up something, then I would like to add a few things. I think you are frozen. Okay, it seems Orkoda is having an internet issue. Okay, yeah, he has just left.
Yes, yes, I think he's back. Are you back, Orkuda? Yes.
Yes, I was
Yes.
I was sharing the video actually. See,
Yes.
as Rhonda said that what we want and what we there's a difference between what we want and what we need. But
Yes.
here here in this scenario, uh, I would like to say a part of a poem. The poem is in Bengali and it says that যার যা খুশি পেতেই পারো শুধু চাওয়ার আগে ইচ্ছেগুলো এই দুনিয়ায় ছন্দ যেন লাগে. Our want can't be irrelevant, and if we want something we must do the work in the background.
Yes.
If we don't do something and then we expect, if we expect something and don't do anything, then we are not, then we won't be able to get anything out of it, because we are not doing anything new, we won't get anything new. So that is what I think is the main problem. The leaders also want something, the followers also want something. They're not getting it because they are not doing the right thing. They are not doing what is necessary at the
They
moment.
might. They might not. Yes. I
Yes.
think that is very correct. I think
Indeed.
that is correct.
So, okay, so I would like to take the topic to a next turn
Yes.
where Rohunda was speaking about the happiness index. Rohunda was
Yes.
speaking about happiness index, that since Orko Prabhu Chatterjee said that we are not doing the right things. According to the happiness index, India is far behind the line. But the one who is topping that list is Finland. And
Finland.
Finland,
Yeah.
yes, Finland is always almost for, I think, 2 to 3 years, they are topping that margin. So it can be assumed that as a country, Finland is doing something that is not being done by us or any other countries. So if Rohunda can put some lights on it, then we would go into the more explanatory parts. And another important announcement to the viewers, if you have any kind of questions or any kind of comments to make, please feel free to do, so that we can also know something and we can shed light on topics that matters. Please, Rohunda, if you shed some light on that topic.
Yes. Yes. See, I may be correct or may not be correct. I am still trying to learn again in this topic. So, see, what I believe is what, from my personal experience, I have seen is that the competitive mindset of people in our nation is something that is extremely, extremely high. Okay. Now, let's discuss on this, like, what is competition? Before we actually jump into what is competition, we should think what is the intention of that very competition. Okay, why is there a competition even set? Why do people compete each other? The underlying cause may be good. Okay, that may be, for being chosen by a premier institution of India, for being the best doctor of the nation. Okay, but then what happens in this course of time when a person actually prepares to be the best doctor in the person? I am not hurting. Don't want to hurt anyone's sentiments or anything. What happens is, in a lot of times, in a lot of cases, that empathy things goes away. Okay, the sense of oneness that people should have goes away. Now, this is not specifically just for a doctor. I respect the profession of doctor. It's the most noble profession that can have, who actually saves people and saves life. So I respect that from all my heart. I'm just saying that was just an example. So the competitive mindset, what happens is when a person is in competition, they are so focused in going ahead and going ahead. But for whom are you going ahead? For whom are you doing that profession? For yourself? Whom are you going to earn? For your own self. Okay. And then after that, can that one self be survive alone? Can that one self survive alone in the society? Can that one self exist as just one individual in the society? But no, that's not what happens. The students these days are seen, they don't really have an attitude of sharing notes. Many students might have, that's good, but I personally have experienced a lot of things. No, this is my notes. What if he gets good marks from me? I'll not share. Okay, this is what happens. So that these might look like small things, but these small daily activities, when amplified at a larger scale in the life, that person becomes all alone. Okay, I'll not share this with you. Maybe you are, that's what they might think. किसी को नहीं दिखाएंगे, अगर क्या वो मेरे से आगे बढ़ गया तो क्या हो जाएगा, वो आगे बढ़ जाएगा, मैं पीछे रह जाऊंगा, आगे आगे आगे, कब तक आगे, कितना आगे, what is the limit of that आगे. So the intention of the, to understand the intention of the competition is extremely important. One, now the competition is also important, definitely, because we are a nation with a population of 150 crores. So definitely, if there is no competition, a college cannot accommodate 150 crore people or a lot of people at once. Competition has to be there, but simultaneously, there should be some practices as well that should explain and that should make people realize that no, there should be a sense of oneness. Because together, combined, you become one. That's what a master even says that. Now, talking about Finland, I don't know much about Finland, but still, what I understand and what I know about these countries are that people in this country, they have an attitude of you first, then I am there. Okay, that is always there. They love the country. We also say we love the country. We also become patriotic on 15th of August. Okay, but then we are again not excited about the uh, achievements of our friends or the achievements of our co-workers or the achievements of our colleagues. What makes a country? People do make a country, right? Then why this animal? Why this contradiction? That if we are loving our country, then why are we not celebrating the achievements of the people of this nation? Leave people, just our immediate friends or immediate co-workers or anything. I respect those people who actually do have this sense of to celebrate this sense of achievement, but that's not really seen. So such thing might be lacking in a country like India, that people are generally not empathizing other people. People are failing to empathize. There's a lack of empathy. That's not because there are a lot of people. That's because the mindset is becoming like that. Because the wants, as I said, is not what they actually need. They need to be together. They need to love each other, but they want to discuss something else. Okay, so I just have this thing to say. Shovik, please, if you can come back and add a few more words.
Yes. So the point that you have made are really important, and I think they are very much essential to our country as well as Finland. I've just seen the reports of Finland. They says that they said that the rates of that competitiveness in their country is really low, as you have mentioned. But there is another important fact that the way they've, okay, let me make this clear. We have such a mindset as survivalists that we put ourselves first, and that is necessary, because we have to save ourselves to save others. And again, the company or the society in which we live in, their impulses or their impact on our lives is also essential. So in this part, we can share an understanding, a unique understanding given by our master that can be considered as a revolutionary understanding. This understanding is so simple and so common that if it is learned, it would feel like it is a common sense. And surprisingly, it is the common sense that we lack, not some special knowledge. Like you see, the empathy you are talking about. Empathy is the most common thing that is seen in a family. Empathy is the most frivolous thing that is seen in a relationship. But again, in the society as a whole, it is the first thing that is lacking. Why? What is that problem? In this sense, in this scenario, Thakur gave a perspective, or our master give a perspective. It is a perspective of life. The perspective is like this. Suppose we take this shirt, and if a shirt starts tearing from this part, eventually it will reach this part. It is must. There is no other way. It will reach here today or tomorrow, unless it is stitched and put in back into its place. This thing, when the first time in December 2018, 2019 December, when the coronavirus first, we heard of coronavirus in our current affairs in China, Wuhan, we heard a virus started, and the World Health Organization and all other the medical institutions are telling everyone to stay alert and follow hygiene and all that. We ignored that. We thought, oh,
Yes.
that is something common, because that was not hurting us. We thought that it would not hurt us, but that was a lack of vision from our part. That is the place where a visionary was needed. We lacked that vision. So we followed according to our whims, and we followed according to the normal way of our life that was happening. And what happened? You can see the coronavirus spread and it reached us, and now it concerns us. Similarly, the depression or whatever the problem, suppose my neighbor fails in their exam, they failed in their exam, whatever, an exam or any other test of life, if they fail, we think that is their problem, not mine. But remember, if that guy would have raised to become a doctor, someday my grandchild would have been saved by the son of that guy. It could have been the cause, but we lack that farsightedness. We lack that essence of knowledge. This is how the society was structured. Our master says that even during your birth, millions of sperms were responsible. The sacrifice of millions of sperms was responsible for your birth only. So your life depends on the sacrifice of others. So you must sacrifice your whims and caprices for others as well, for others' well-being. But this farsightedness, where are we getting that? We are getting that
Exactly.
from a conscious ideal. We are getting that from a personality who, through his experiences of life, had reached a certain level of mastery that is necessary for all of us. We have to bend our heads down, and we have to
For
learn from
well-being.
such a person. Yes,
Yes.
we have to learn from such a personality. And on a quick topic, the thing that Rohanda was telling about Finland, there is another important thing about Finland. Finland being the happiest country of the world, there is another strange thing regarding the coronavirus pandemic. It's that that country has almost around 800 to 700 people affected due to coronavirus, and only about 50,000 people died. Then what is the cause? The cause lies that if our mind is affected, then our body is affected exponentially. Sri Thakur, our master says, মনটা দুষ্ট হলেই জানিস রোগের আথাল হয়, ওই দিকে তুই এড়িয়ে চলিস করবি ব্যাধি জয়. The mind
Exactly.
get affected first. So mind leads to other disasters in our body. Suppose the
Yes.
first, when our body gets damaged, our mind is the first to get affected. If our mind is uplifted, in case of
Yes.
chemotherapies, cancers and all that, it is said that they have to have a positive outlook, but people are not taught. We are taught in the school how to do integration calculus, but we are not taught how to stay happy. What are the things necessary to stay happy? How to deal with problems of life? How to deal with rejections? How to deal with illnesses that comes into our life like accidents? We have to be taught such things to make our mind strong as well as our bodies, because mind are the harbingers of our fate, not the body. Body is just a resultant of the mind. So
Yes. I think my elder brother has just said a thing to discuss for us, and he says that discussing about the perspective towards life that would, that would lead, that would see a different manner, and such feeling of depression could be avoided. Okay, I really, agree to this point. So, as Soviki was saying, that we are taught about integration calculus, that's extremely important to get a good college maybe and to crack an examination. At the same time, parallelly, it is very important to get a perspective of life. Okay, what are we going to do in life? And in the end, what matters the most? That I believe is an extremely important thing. These days, the only factor that really matter to people is to earn money. Yes.
I want to correct myself that I am not telling that not to teach integration or
It is
calculus. I'm
important.
telling, just like the integration or calculus, there is that sports and all
Parallelly,
things.
parallelly.
Yes, yes, something
Yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes. My bad if I have said something wrong. Okay.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So definitely that is important to get a perspective of life. I would like to share an experience wherein I was interacting with a few juniors in my institution, and then I actually asked, not in my institution, and somewhere, and I asked like, what do you want to do? What is your perspective, and what is your higher goals? Okay, we get asked in the interviews, where do you see 5 years down the line? That's a very common question in the interviews. And during my preparation, I have rarely come across anyone who is given an example about the deeper perspective, okay, of life. So the goals and the targets we set is extremely important. But how important is it to be happy? Okay, I would request Orkoda to discuss a few things from the reference to this comment that we got, that under the guidance of a wise mentor, sadness may bring unbelievable good result and can change the course of life. Request you to throw some light on Arjuna Bishra Yoga, where from where Srimad Bhagavad Gita starts. We get a solution of all problems, mental, material, and spiritual in Sri Bhagavad Gita. Since Orkoda, you are already a lot a learned person in this field, I would request you to help us also learn. Yes.
See, I haven't read the Gita yet, but
Okay.
what I must say that we have completed a session. We have done a session on freedom. I think we need to I think we need to do another session on it. But
Yeah.
the gist of the session is that if we want to enjoy freedom, we must we should enjoy it under the we must enjoy the freedom within the discipline, and
Yes.
without the discipline we won't be able to actually realize what is freedom. Now, uh, I don't know much about Gita, but what comes to my mind at the moment, that just before the war of Kurukshetra was about to start, uh, Arjuna asked Lord Sri Krishna to take the chariot. He actually asked Lord Sri Krishna that he wishes to see both the parties. So Lord Krishna took the chariot at the middle of the two parties. Just he took the chariot where they can see Arjuna's grandfather, the legendary Bhishma, and the person who taught Arjuna archery and made him the great warrior he was famously known for, the great Dronacharya, was clearly visible. Now, when Arjuna saw those two personalities, he was emotionally broken, and he lost all his desire for the kingdom, and he decided not to take part in the war. And he sat down, and then wise Krishna, made him realize that that it is the Kshatriya duty of his to take part in this war, to uplift life, to help help others to realize what is the truth. And eventually Arjuna understand. He said that your wish your wish is a command to me, and I will fulfill it, whatever, and I will fulfill it, and I won't think about the consequences at all, have because I have accepted you as my master. Then we all know what happened. Now if Lord Krishna would have stopped the chariot from where, instead of Bhishma and Dronacharya, Duryodhana or Dushasana was visible, Arjuna's mind would be suppressed by would be suppressed by anger and uh, and he would he would uh, he would have wanted to start the war immediately. He wanted to then he would have wanted to take revenge. Now he didn't do that. He did what necessary. He did what was necessary at the moment. He wanted Arjuna to realize that this is not a war to take revenge. This is a war for truth. And the this is what came to my mind about, and while listening to your discussion about depression.
You have very correctly said, Arkoda, and we are again thanks to help us learn so much as always. Okay, so moving ahead, I would like to take this discussion, and before that, I would like to be very clear about that this topic and this live session on discussion. It's impossible to complete every aspect of this thing. Okay, in just 1 hour of a session. So we are just trying to shed light, or we are just trying to discuss on a few things that we believe that yes, these are important, and it's a lot of things that need to be discussed. So just in 1 hour of time, the time may be short. So just that can be like a disclaimer. And before that, I would like to also make an announcement that the Chaos to Cosmos episodes that we keep on launching on every week, we are going to launch that today as well around 8:30 p.m. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned, and that will be definitely helpful for you in unlocking a lot of things that previously did. And we also have other series like Pilgrimage series, Master Within for Well-being. Do check out the YouTube channel for those things, and also videos like Do We Need a Guru in Life? So these videos will definitely help you learn a lot of things that we believe to. Yes. Now coming back to the topic, I would like to discuss from another angle. We don't have much time left, but still, uh, if you know that we have seen a lot of famous people who we idolize at a point of time in the life, okay, who we definitely believe, who we get attached to, and then suddenly we see that person going. Okay, so Vic, what do you think? Like, these people, they already are able to do excel in so many ways in life. Okay, they can already do. So I don't want to hurt anyone's sentiment. Still, I would like to take the example of Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. The youths, they definitely would know. So listen, so Chester Bennington's song, the Linkin Park song, is a kind of support for us during our youth, during our school times. We have so many memories attached to it. The lyrics are so deep and so intense. We learn so much of things. We relate to life. Okay, and suddenly one fine day we see that person going away. Okay, so why do you think they already have so much of capabilities? They did do so much well, but why this thing is happening? Can we just quickly discuss on this thing?
This is a very sensitive topic to many people as well as me. I don't know if I will do justice answering this question, but I hope my master speaks through me. The factor is that in a Bengali, there's a saying by Thakur. It's that যেমন করে যা করলে যা হয়, তেমন করে তা না করলে তা হয় না. That means if we don't deal with certain things in the way that they should be dealt, there is no other way that we can reach to the conclusion or the solution that we seek. So there's a law in the universe, okay? The law is for getting to wash ourselves, we have to pour water on us, not fire. To vaporize something, we have to light fire. These are the basic laws of nature. So as a person, whether that is Chester Bennington, Michael Jackson, or a simple guy like me, whoever that is, we have to follow certain principles that are rooted in the bedrock of our existence, in the law of the universe. We have to do certain things for certain matters. To fill our tummy, we have to eat. That is the basic thing. Similarly, to be happy, there are certain things. We have to maintain that. Without, I'm not giving any food and I'm expecting to be filled. That is a madness. So you can be a great doctor, you can be a great, singer or whatever you want. But if you don't feed your belly, your stomach, then you cannot be full. Similarly, there are certain things this mind seeks as well. We have to understand this, that it has its own needs, separate needs. We have time for, we say that I have my needs. You have to, we quarrel with our parents that I have my needs. You have to fulfill that. Similarly, this body also have certain kind of needs. This mind also have certain kind of needs. Throughout the history, wherever great people came, and I would like to connect this answer to the comment that my respected Radu asked, posted, is that similarly, whenever there is an important need in us, and that need is to be united. This need, that for this need, we are called social beings. We are humans not only for ourselves, we are human as a social beings. But when we come in contact with the society, as it is a good thing, it is a bad thing as well, that there are certain expectations of others are imposed upon us. We cannot just feed ourselves, we have to feed others as well, and the problems augment. But there are, according to Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, there are two type of companies. Company means shango, or the people who are around me. There's a Sanskrit slok that sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodho bhijayate, krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhrangshat buddhinasha, buddhinashat pranashyati. There is a company that induces us with the calm or the want, the desires. My friend has a phone and he puts certain effects on me that I am also desiring phone for me, even if it is not needed for my existence. This is imposing calm. Kamat krodho bhijayate. When that calm is not fulfilled within me, it turns into rage, krodh. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. When that krodh with time turns into sammoha. And sammohat smriti vibhrama, from sammoha or delusion, it goes into loss of memory, loss of conscience. Smriti bhrangshat buddhinasha, buddhinashat pranashyati. From the lack of conscience and wrong way of doing things will lead ourselves to destruction. I would like to connect this. I would like to connect this with the question of that you asked me, and also the comment made by respected Bolar Koda, is that he asked her to ask for certain perspectives. And in this perspective, I would like to say that the way the calm or the wants are imposed upon us, we get excited about certain things that are not necessary for us. Here comes the main thing, and we can relate it with the Chester Bennington. Want, exactly. The desire, when the desire is unfulfilled, it forms misery. The only definition of dukkha or misery is that the desire unfulfilled. Just see, give any example. Suppose somebody died. I wanted that person to stay forever, and it is unfulfilled. So I will have to face misery. I want to be first in the class. I could not become. That is misery. So any kind of desire, any kind of want, when that is unfulfilled, that is misery. This is the only definition of misery, and it is an important perspective that we always have to keep in mind. So we have to want we have to know certain real facts about the nature as well. That people won't stay forever. That we cannot do certain things. Certain things are beyond our nature. But again, if we are too much rooted in real things, then we will lack imagination. And here comes the need of other faculty of our mind. Under the depression, the depression is also a part of our life. If you see, you cannot see any person who is without depression. One day, Rabindranath Tagore, the Kavi Guru, Rabindranath Tagore's son died. And using that depression, he wrote several poems, Mrityunjay and many others. This is a perfect use of depression, if you ask me.
Yes.
He used that depression to lead other people that death is inevitable. We have to win over death, not physically, but through our psyche.
Exactly.
It is the wisdom in our in of human beings that whatever comes in our life, we turn it into possibilities. Similarly, in Arjun Vishad Yoga, we see the depression, the sadness that came into Arjuna, that embraced Arjuna. Lord Krishna did not keep his face away from that. Rather, he tackled it. He took willingly Arjuna to those people, seeing whom Arjuna will face the depression, to make him all powerful, to make him unbreakable. Arjuna, he forcibly took Arjuna to those people to meet his forefathers and his teacher. Why? So that he can face the inherent weakness that is already within him. That's why, and whatever dharma, science, or whatever we speak of, without fighting with this weakness, we cannot be anything at all. If we can make happy everyone externally, but we cannot find meaning in ourselves. That's why Sri Thakur, in his most important book, I would say, most essential book for everyone, The Pursuit of Truth or Shattanusharan, the first line he writes, first of all, we must wage war on weakness.
Weaknesses.
We must be brave and bold, for weakness is sin incarnate. Drive it away at once, this depressing, blood-sucking vampire. Say you are bold, the offspring of might. You are the son of Father the Supreme. Then only you have the right to enter the kingdom of heaven. So here comes the
Brilliant.
need. So here comes the need of attachment to an idea, an attachment that I am the son of such a personality. I
Conscious
cannot,
ideal.
yes, I cannot be downtrodden. I need an ideal. I am the son of Supreme Father. I cannot be depressed. Just 1 minute, I would like to add 1 minute. I a personal experience. I have seen depression from a very close hand, very very close hand. My father was. I don't want to get into personal things, but my father had one of the most dangerous of all depression kinds, depressive depression disorder, and he's, by the grace of Supreme Father, he has become well. But due to his illness, and that illness is so contagious that it also crept on within us, with us, and all other many people around us. And due to that, I had an opportunity to experiment with certain things. And I can assure people that having master, having a conscious ideal is so essential in our life. And I also want to tell many people who are currently facing depression to use this as an opportunity, to explore other facets of life and see
Yes.
what this human brain can do, what
And
many people
understand.
in their depths of despair had done. And I know, and I can assure that our master can lead in that aspect.
Yes. Very correctly said, my brother Sovik. So we are going towards the end of this live session, and I don't think that we have a lot more to discuss. And from a personal understanding and experience, uh, I would say that again, like we cannot discuss everything in just 1 hour. So whatever Sovik just said is so much correct. When we need to understand mathematics, okay, we go to the best teacher of mathematics. When we need to learn karate, we go to a karate expert. When we need to learn cricket or whatever, we definitely go to that person. Similarly, when we need to unlock the mysteries of life, or when we need to understand a life in a better manner, we should go to such a personality of some higher order, much higher order, who has the understanding in every single way, a conscious ideal, a wise person who can guide us in the way of life. Now, once again, I would like to say that there are many types of depression. There is clinical depression, there is so much. It's very important that we help others, we empathize with others. A sense of gratitude, to build a sense of gratitude is the need of an hour. If I'm helping someone, if a person is helping someone just to get something in return, expectation will arise. We are human beings. Definitely expectation arises. It's not the correct way to just expect something and do out of love. It's important that we empathize the person. If we are not getting something, and we are not unable to get something in return, then try to understand that what that person is going through. Let's try to understand what is the problem with that very person. Okay, so yes, this is like a lot of things are there that should be discussed about depression, and small measures can be taken which might actually help us to get rid of this. Definitely, the problem that people face is something extremely difficult, and that only those person can understand their problems when they are in this darkness. Then again, a light is something that will remove the darkness, and such a person is the light, will help us understand a lot of things. So, would you like to add something?
Yes. One last thing that scientists have already mentioned, that our mind is the most complicated of all machines in the universe, at least the universe we know. Then if we buy a new machine that is very complicated, the first thing we do is we learn how to manage that machine, how to use that machine, how to at least know the manual, the instruction manual we have to follow. But if we look at ourselves, we don't have the basic information manual or instruction manual to our mind. So we need someone who has mastered at least this mind. We need someone who knows who has the certain bidhis or certain laws that we can, how to use this mind to others' benefits, how to use this mind to our own benefit. Already
Why
the
for
result
others'
can,
benefit? Why? Because without others, we cannot survive. Okay.
exactly.
Build a
It is
sense of
it is
gratitude for our own benefits, for our own selves. Right.
exactly this others thing that we are saying, it is actually a term, is actually a term to use. It just means an extension of ourselves,
Discussion. We keep on
like,
saying that we are independent. Of course, that's just maybe just one part. Okay. We should understand we are interdependent of one another. Okay. I
yes,
won't
indeed,
have this shirt if there was no textile industry. The people working out there. Okay. I should thank them from all my heart, from the bottom of my heart. I would not have this phone if there was no company. The people working there day and night. So why is this important? So that we develop a sense of gratitude for others. So that we develop
indeed.
a sense of empathy, as you very well said. Yes.
And a very important thing that you can just Google it out and take the report. Scientists say the first thing in the morning that we are doing should be showing some kind of gratitude. You can mark my words and go and search in the Google.
Yes,
Is that
yes.
gratitude? The gratitude is a certain mindset that cannot that can overlap any other mindset at the same time. And the way that we can show our gratitude the first thing in the morning is by offering something from our heart to the beloved
Yes.
that we cherish.
And
And
this
it
is
is something that,
exactly what we discussed in the last live session. Okay.
exactly, and this is what we call ishtobhriti in Bengali as well, that
Holy
the first
offering.
thing, holy offering, the
Yes.
first thing in the morning we offer something of good value to my master or someone who I love. And this is a
Okay.
great practice. You can go and
No,
check in the psychology today that they are
exactly.
doing this thing.
Now, like, this definitely might not be accepted by a lot of people, but let's in 2 minutes just discuss why are we giving so much of force in this thing, to build a bond with such a conscious ideal. Why? How is that important? The world is extremely big and we are very small in the world. Okay. So to understand that thing, what we need, and is that want even better for us? Okay. Such small things. Lot of things are there that we discussed. These things, when you make a chain, becomes a big thing in life. And to understand such complexity, our mind is a very powerful thing. Okay. Now, how to train that mind is what you already said. How to, actually uh, get
Indeed.
help
and
from
and we are not telling people to listen to us and do it right away. We are telling people to experiment, isn't it?
experiment. Right? Yeah.
Experiment. We have our website www.masterwithin.org. Go and read the articles. Several events have been
Right.
mentioned, several
Yes.
solutions have been given. Apart
Yes.
from all this, Apart from all this, there are clinical possibilities like going to a doctor, and those things are also essential. But
Definitely.
to be noted that those are curative measures, not preventive measures, isn't
Very
it?
correct.
But doctors always say that prevention is better than cure. Before it affects you, before it kills you, I think we must take certain preventions.
Talking to people.
It's
Yes,
not-
these small habits in our daily lives can actually help in a extremely good way. That will create such a major impact that is unexplainable. The sense of gratitude, the sense of doing for others without lot of expectations. I did for him, but he never makes me happy. Okay, try to understand why is that person doing in that way. Why is that person not doing maybe when I'm doing? Try to understand that person, empathize that person, and then explain. And to get such explanation, yes,
and this is one thing that we can, I mean, we excel at. That is, the person we are trying to make happy, in our sense, if we take a personal look at our lives, our life is centered around a living ideal.
yeah,
It is to fulfill him, it is to fulfill, it is to make him happy, or his establish his ideals in my life. According to my master, the main mission of our satsang movement that we called it historically is the attainment of God. He says our goal is the attainment of God, a personality realized with revering and nurturing urge. This attainment of God should not be misinterpreted. It is not like
yes,
going flying to a heaven and catching someone. It is not that. Attainment of God, he meant to attain a revering and nurturing urge. And from there, I will procure certain faculties within me that are latent. We have, there are scientists are naming certain hormones in the brain. They are naming it as anandamide because that gives us anando. Previously, they linked it with marijuana. So there are certain faculties within us we have not explored. And since we are not exploring that, these things are becoming sadness within us.
yes.
So we have to explore unknown regions of this brain. And for that, a person who knows can always lead us. It is not
Honestly,
force, it is to experiment.
it's to experiment. Yes, I
See,
think
I
Orkoda,
we
would
want
like
are.
to
to.
add?
Yes, please. I was saying,
See,
Orgoda,
yes,
please.
yes, I want to say something that Shovik was saying about the holy offering. I will keep it short. That the holy offering. See, the love is the most powerful thing in this universe, and we will eventually become someone. Someone. I mean, we would eventually become someone like we love. The personality we love, we will eventually
Yes,
become like him.
yes,
Now
yes,
we must be, we must be. I mean, we must be very cautious before making the holy offering. We can also make the holy offering to our mothers. Every mother is a legendary personality, but with due respect to them, every personality has a limitation. If our love is rooted to someone divine, to a divine personality, then who has the mastery over everything, then only we can achieve mastery, and the master within us will awake. That is all I wanted to say.
yes.
Just
We
to
have
give
to awaken the
clarification,
master.
that this divine aspect should not be, I mean, jumbled with some other notions that we already have.
Yes,
Please continue,
yes.
Rohanda.
Yes, yes, yes. We have to awaken the mastery within. As Orkoda said, that eventually we will become the person we love. That's exactly what we are have discussed in the third episode of Chaos to Cosmos. Okay, see how things are related. Okay,
Yes,
we
yes,
seek
indeed.
stability, we seek order. The universe seeks stability. Each and every particle seeks stability. Okay, and we need. That's the beauty of unification. We will unify it. So it's better to unify with such a thing. Okay, which will actually give us a better life. I don't know what, but I'm losing words now. I am not able to say
Yes,
more because things are very
some
clear for my end. Yeah.
some less important things that not less, I would say, but people know this according to science, is that we also have to give a little bit of attention to the diet as well. Like diet
Oh
plays
yes.
another important factor.
What we become, what we eat. Okay, we
Yes.
become. Yeah, one thing. Thank you for reminding that. I would just in 2 minutes I will I will explain my own experience. Okay, that you two already know. Okay, uh, I was not very happy in a few days back. Okay, with my physical health, of course. And then what happened is I joined the gym. I was extremely strict with my diet, and the initial days I got mouth ulcers, and I was furious that I have joined the gym and I'm getting mouth ulcers. I'm getting sad. I was getting sad. But then what helped me was patience. I tried to follow diet for 4 months, and eventually a sense of positivity, just sparkled in me. And I got a lot of benefits from that. So it is extremely important that our mind, for a mental wealth, the physical health is also important because they are connected. And then again, mental health is important, and then again, physical health. Like this, things are connected. So yes, that was my experience. That keeping the physical health good keeps the mental health good as well. Yeah.
So sometimes I wonder that I think people as well as us, I think we should take a step back and just look at this personality as a whole, at the conscious ideal that we are referring to, the person called Anukul Chandra Chakravarti we are referring to. Just take a look at the person, that how many aspect of life can a person talk about, that how many aspect of life can a person have mastery upon. Talk about spirituality, talk about mental health, diet, economics, spiritual, what astronomy,
Anything you say.
anything you say. One day a person came to American journalist came to our master and said and asked that, Thakur, I would like to ask you something, that whenever a specialist of any field comes to you and asks a certain question regarding to their own subject, and I'm quoting this, I'm not just making things up for the audience. When they ask you regarding certain special topics, you give them an answer based on your experience. And by some special coincidence, the answer you give becomes beneficial to that person. Whether that be a doctor, a scientist, you give an answer to them, and that is revolutionary for them. How can your insight on all subjects be so much existential and so much necessary? And Thakur gave a unique answer. It is not like some spiritual humpy dumpy like things like I know everything, I am God
Yeah,
sent
yeah.
me from heaven. No, he said, it is a good question. Ami jani bole kichu jani na. The first thing he said, Ami jani bole, I don't know that I know. This is a very important thing. Just remind this, that I know how to wear a shirt, but I don't take any ego in that because it is so simple and natural to me. Just focus on this. Similarly, to a person who observed the nature, who observed the knowledge with such keen perception that the knowledge is natural to him, he continued like this. I would end it here. He continued that that I am interested in life. I'm only interested in life. The death is not, I don't like anything that is related to death or murder. But if a hunter comes to me and explains how he hunted a deer, I listen to him. I listen to him and learn and extract the lively faculties, the existential faculties of the act of hunting. And I use it in my experience archive and use it as a solution for some other purposes. I think
Exactly.
this is an approach we can take from this session as well. Please take
Exactly.
the essential parts from us, because the good things, that whatever I am saying is not from me, it is from my master. And the small mistakes that are, and the big mistakes that I am making, those belongs to us. Please, you can leave that, but I would like you to give focus on the right things that we are saying. The right aspects are those directly coming from our master. I would like.
Yes. Yes. Extremely correct. Extremely correct. I think that sums up a lot of things that you already said. That how powerful is our mind actually, and if we train our mind with the correct things and like the correct practices, okay, like gratitude, like small things that will definitely gratitude and empathizing, and as our brother in the beginning said, that to see the life in a different perspective, for being and becoming as a sense of one, a sense of oneness, then definitely a lot of things might be good, might be, better. So I think that was very well said by Shovik today. You have actually led the session in an extremely good way. And I think that there was a lot of learning for me, for all the people who watched. And I think we are good to conclude now. Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
said same for me. I said
Yeah,
same for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. You can now, we can now conclude. So sum up, if you can sum up quickly in 2 minutes, and then we can go.
I actually summed that up, but okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what to sum up, but the thing is that depression is very common for everyone. It is not that having depression is the problem, but I think the dealing the depression in the wrong way is the main problem. Not
Yes.
having the depression, but depression will come as long as we
Welcome.
have this mind. But
Yes.
the difference will remain in how we deal with it. And I think as human beings, whatever came upon us, we have turned them into possibilities. As thunder struck on us, we turned it into fire for the food. As waves came to us, we turned it into hydroelectricity. Similarly, if depression comes on us, we can use it as a motivation, and that
Mm.
is used very efficiently using a master, because master turns these things into motivations of our life. That okay, I have failed, I will do better next time, like that. But of course, for that you need a company. There is a alternative saying to the Sanskrit sloka that I have mentioned of Lord Krishna, Sangat Sanjayate Kama. Sri Thakur says like this: Sangat Sanjayate Shraddha, Shraddhaya Drishti Shuddhata, Drishti Shuddher hi Vishwaso, Vishwasat Nirvicharita, Nirvicharat Bhavet Prem, Premas Chatma Samarpanam. There is another company that harbors respect.
Yes.
Shraddhaya Drishti Shuddhata, and through that respect, our vision will be cleared. Drishti Shuddher hi Vishwasa, from that we will get faith. Vishwasat Nirvicharita, Nirvicharat Bhavet Prem, from that we will get uncolored vision and equity in vision. And from there we will attain love. And from love
Yes.
we will reach surrender to that master. I think this is what we should take from this session. And I think I would conclude it here.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So once again, thank you for joining this live session. Please do reach out to us from the comment section. Do visit our website masterwithin.org so that you can get a better insights. There are a lot of articles there. There are a lot of things that will help you learn. And again, this is an epidemic that is becoming. So do reach out to people who can actually help you. To talk to them. Okay, and uh, go reach out to medical professionals, and ultimately try to connect yourself with a conscious ideal who will give you a better direction and help you understand the power of your mind so that you can unlock the mysteries of yourself, people, the country, nation, and of course, the mysteries of the universe. So, once again, thank you for joining us. Take care of your health, take care of yourself, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.